Well, a murder-suicide inside a busy hospital pharmacy, a standoff involving a man with a weapon. These are real-life scenarios that played out inside Houston hospitals over the last 6 months.
The threat of violence has several Houston hospitals planning for a worst-case scenario. Tonight, Channel 2 investigator Robert Arnold takes us inside the training meant to help patients and staff survive an active shooter.
From a murder at Ben Taub to a SWAT standoff at Tomball Hospital to a murder-suicide at a VA hospital in El Paso, all happening in the last 6 months. Violent confrontations at hospitals are becoming more frequent. Channel 2 Investigates reviewed studies showing there have been 40 hospital shootings in the U.S. since 2010.
We're never going to be able to stop somebody that wants to come in with a gun.
This is why hospitals are now training for the unthinkable.
In the case of, in this one, you had been shot.
You're watching an active shooter drill at Apollo Hospital in the Woodlands.
If you scream first, he's going to take more shots.
Dwight Osteen is the hospital's sleep services director. He worked with law enforcement to craft this drill.
The protocol is run, hide, and fight.
The drill works with Osteen walking in the front entrance with a bag that would be big enough to hide a gun. He surprises employees with one of these cards, each card a different scenario of what happens when someone opens fire in a hospital, from being shot to hearing shots down the hall.
So that's a perfect response.
Employees get a few seconds to write down their response, which is reviewed and discussed.
Say, hey, look, this is what happened. This is your response. If you had done this instead, you have a higher chance of surviving and saving others as well.
Apollo's drill is mental. Some hospitals go further. The Hospital Association of Southern California staged a massive active shooter drill, complete with off-duty officers firing blanks. But drills like this aren't done often. Apollo CEO Fawn Creighton wanted an exercise that could be done every quarter and wouldn't disrupt patient care. How employees responded and how they're supposed to respond are discussed even more frequently.
We do monthly staff meetings just to make sure that everybody is up to speed on active shooter because of the turnover with employees.
Police Captain Rick Grossi was the incident commander the night he says George Pickering stormed into Tomball Hospital's ICU with a gun, angry his son was being taken off life support. Grossi says prior drills with the hospital helped police get Pickering to surrender while hospital staff still cared for critically ill patients.
I also think it's important for them to understand our job duties and functions and how we're going to respond to these situations.
How police respond is something Apollo staff learned quickly after their first drill. An officer's job is to first eliminate the threat. That means anyone with a gun.
The surprising response was how many responded with they would go to their car, get their gun, and come back in and be the hero of the day, which is the wrong response in this type of environment.
Before a hospital can become accredited, it must have a disaster plan in place, which includes training staff on how to respond to workplace violence. Training can cover everything from watching a video like the one we showed you to running drills with police and the frequent type of training Apollo Hospital is doing. Robert Arnold, KPRC, Channel 2 News.